The evidence seen by the inquiry has shown that failures in recruitment and vetting meant Couzens was able to continue a policing career which should have been denied to him. Failures in investigations into allegations of indecent exposure meant opportunities to disrupt Couzens' offending and bring his policing career to a halt were missed. It is clear that Couzens carefully managed the impression he gave people of himself. This included the way he manipulated information on application forms and his troubled finances. It also included the way he shared his callous views towards women with only a very small group of like-minded people on a social media group. This all enabled him to target vulnerable women while operating in plain sight as an apparently unremarkable officer. However, the fact remains that 3 separate police forces allowed him the privilege of being a police officer when they could and should have stopped him. Wayne Couzens is a predatory sex offender and murderer. Evidence of his alleged offending, his preference for extreme and violent pornography, and his unmanaged debts date back nearly 20 years prior to Sarah's murder. The inquiry has seen evidence that Couzens allegedly committed a very serious sexual assault against a child, barely in her teens, before his policing career even started. Problems of money also predated his career with the police. Couzens had substantial unsecured debt by the time he was arrested for Sarah's murder. I've seen evidence of Couzens' diverse and deviant sexual interests and understand these to be potential drivers for his offending. It is alleged that on a number of occasions Couzens tried to show friends and colleagues pornography, including some of a violent and extreme nature. It is further alleged that on at least 2 occasions he shared unsolicited photographs of his penis with a young woman, and that he paid female online retailers to masturbate into clothes and send them to him. Crucially, the report shows how police recruitment and vetting failed to spot red flags about Couzens' unsuitability. Red flags were repeatedly ignored, meaning he was granted the privilege of serving in 3 separate police forces, including as an authorised firearms officer, despite, for example, his history of excessive spending and personal debt. Repeated failures in recruitment and vetting meant that Couzens could enjoy the powers and privileges that accompany the role of police officer. He went on to use his knowledge of police powers to falsely arrest Sarah Everard. Even after Couzens' arrest and a review of his vetting clearance, the Metropolitan Police Service told the inquiry in 2022 that they would still have recruited him if provided with the same information. I found this astonishing. The inquiry is aware of 5 other alleged incidents of sexual offending involving Couzens, which, for many understandable reasons, were never reported to the police. Given the known underreporting of sexual offences, I believe there may be even more victims of Couzens' offending. Although Wayne Couzens was not wholly a product of his working environments, those environments did nothing to discourage his misogynistic view of women and meant that providing he presented himself as professional, his deviant behaviour outside of work could flourish. Policing leaders need to radically transform their approach to police culture if future offenders like Couzens are to be denied opportunities to abuse police powers for sexual purpose. It is time certain types of behaviour, from the unacceptable to the criminal, and low standards are simply not tolerated in policing. Without a significant overhaul, there is nothing to stop another Wayne Couzens operating in plain sight. I would urge all those in authority in every police force in the country to read this report and take immediate action. Sarah's parents and loved ones live in the perpetual grief and pain of having lost Sarah in this way. Her death and the public discourse it caused should galvanise those responsible for policing to ensure that those who have the privilege and power of protecting us can be trusted. Thank you.